Good Monday evening, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Mondays with Mason. I'm Mason's Pesky, your host. Sorry that I haven't been on the past 2 weeks. I actually had facial surgery. I actually had like a little mark up here called a cyst, and we wanted to get it removed, so I got that removed. And as a result, I had a big Band-Aid on for 2 days. Was not very pretty and was not very comfortable, obviously, but that's off. I only had to wear that 2 days, and then I had a little smaller normal Band-Aid on for like 7 days, and I didn't really want to go on camera looking like I just ran into a wall, as my economics professor asked me the day that I came into his class. And I said good morning, and he said, "Good morning, you look like you ran for a brick wall." And I'm like, "No, I just got a little something removed off my face." But anyway, all's good. That's over with. I'm glad things are back to normal, and I'm glad to be here with you. And as I did say, I'm taking a little break, and I still kind of am. Content's going to be light until the first couple weeks of end of March, early April. But I'm going to talk about two things. We will get into a topic tonight, but it won't be for a couple more minutes. But I first off want to talk about like where Pittsburgh sports are, some of the shows I typically do. I know I do my Pitt basketball show. Hang on, I'm just getting and moving my computer. My Pitt basketball show and my Boys of Winter series for the Penguins. I'm sorry I haven't been doing those lately. It's just things have been busy like with late, and after the football season, my YouTube and stuff, it kind of just, I don't want to say died down or lessened, because I'm not done and I really don't want to take that long of a break from this, but let me get this lighting situation on this computer figured out. What? When I get... Oh, here we go. Wi-Fi's good. Wi-Fi's all good. Just took the computer a couple minutes. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, though, like, I do a lot of scouting stuff for the NFL. I like to watch NFL film, like I review all the Steelers films and review the games and all that, more from like an analytical perspective, but like I do my other stuff on the side, and that's what I've been doing more of recently, and I'm going to continue to do that. So it will be a lighter schedule, but it certainly won't be too late. So here's where we're going, because I had said this. It'll be back to normal. Like on Fridays, every 5 games for the Penguins, we will do the Boys of Winter series, starting with their next 5-game end. Actually, I think that's coming up. I know I was supposed to do one on the 15th. I missed that one. I missed the one on the 15th. I'm sorry. It was because of that removal of the bad thing on my face. So let me tell you when the next one is. Let me tell you. It's actually coming up after tomorrow's game, so we'll do one of those probably Wednesday. I will, though, real briefly take this time to talk about the last 5 Penguin games. The first couple since the All-Star break, they beat the Jets 3-0. That was good. They lost, though, their next 3, losing to the Minnesota Wild 3-2 and the Jets 2-1. Both those were on the road. And they lost to the Panthers at home, then on Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday, 5-2. However, they did beat the Blackhawks 4-1 in Chicago. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes, but that will happen. We're going to get back to the Boys of Winter series, which is nice. Just missed one episode because of the face thing. So back to normal there. Pitt basketball, we will get back to them on Friday. They've been hot as of late, so good things coming for them. They have won a lot of games. Their only loss as of late has come to Wake Forest. It was a bad one, but it'll be interesting for sure to see if they make the tournament. So we'll get back to that. Like I said, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to Mondays with Mason. So we'll have Mondays with Mason. I have a lot of interesting topics to cover in that. Mondays with Mason. The Boys of Winter series, and the Pitt basketball stuff, which will continue through the end of the Panthers season. And those will be Fridays, and the Boys of Winter is after every 5 games. and the Mondays with Mason is every Monday. I did bring up the off-season plan video, which I did say we'll have either last week or this week. I am filming that video tomorrow, so that video will probably be up tomorrow or Wednesday the 28th. Hopefully tomorrow night I could get that video up, so I'm definitely happy about that. But then after that, it's going to probably be a slow March for the most part. I will do some baseball stuff, though, throughout the month because I do have, as I had mentioned, we are going to, kind of a special announcement on this, I guess I'll say it now, but you guys probably already knew by now, but I am doing a Pirates series. It's just going to be like the Boys of Winter series. We will be doing this show every Monday fall for the Pirates. So after every 2 series. For the first one, it'll be free because it'll be the Marlins, the Nationals, and the Orioles. But starting on Monday, April 8th, every Monday, we'll be discussing Pirates baseball. I'm planning on following the Pirates big time this year. I am very excited for the season, although they are on free spring training. But yeah, so I'm excited for the Pirates season, that's for sure. I've yet to come up with a name. I'm going to try to come up with a name, and I'm going to try to come up with logos, too, actually, for all this. If I can get my editing game together, I do some editing stuff for a Pitt fan page on Instagram. If you all want to follow it, it's called Pitt.Report. It's a part of the Report affiliation community. So if you guys want to follow that, definitely please do follow that. Another page I do, this one's on Twitter. It's called SSN Pitt, part of Sideline Sports Network. Me and another guy actually do that. So if you want to give both those pages follows, that would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, I would definitely appreciate that if you guys could do that. And then I do have a personal Twitter account where I occasionally do tweet some sports stuff. I've actually been active on Twitter and Instagram more so than this as of late, which probably is a good thing, and especially since it isn't football season. M. Sapesky, that's my Twitter handle, and I tweet about all kinds of sports, so if you guys want to follow that, please do. So, yeah. That's all I have there. We're going to look at the standings right now for the ACC. We're going to look at a couple standings, the ACC. We'll look also at I'll give you a couple standings updates here. First off, we're actually going to take a pause right now from Pitt, and we're also going to look at a couple of the other local college basketball teams, do a check-in on them before we get to Pitt, because I'll talk about the ACC more, because obviously I got a pen. Duquesne right now, they have a 6-8 conference record, 16-11 overall. West Virginia, 4-10, 9-18 overall. Penn State, 8-9 in the conference, 14-14 overall. They're actually having a good season, in my opinion, and I think Penn State basketball is going to be back relatively soon. The Horizon League, we got Robert Morris, 6-12, 10-19 overall. And then for those of you in Youngstown, Ohio, Youngstown State Penguins, 13-6 and 21-9 overall. So that's all I have for that. Now on to the ACC, because I'll discuss it a little more since I obviously missed those past couple of games. As we speak, the ACC standings are North Carolina leads the ACC at 13-3, Duke is 12-4, Virginia is 11-6, Wake Forest is 10-6, Clemson is 9-7, Pitt is 9-7, NC State's 9-7, Syracuse 9-8, Florida State 8-8, Virginia Tech 7-9, Boston College 6-10, Miami Hurricanes 6-11, Notre Dame 5-11, Georgia Tech 5-12, and Louisville 3-13. Disasters and Louisville. So right now, the way it looks, Pitt is actually in a really good position because that would mean they'd play Virginia if they kept winning, and I think Virginia is more of a beatable opponent than, say, Clemson or Wake Forest. So hopefully, I think it's very possible still we move into that top 4, which would be very nice, but it's a long shot. We have to win tomorrow, though, Clemson. Miami really fell off, which is kind of crazy. On to the NHL, the Penguins, they have not been the best as of late, so yeah, unfortunately. But all errors must come to an end. Look at the Patriots, the New England Patriots, I mean, their era came to an end, so Everybody has to. Unfortunately. All right, the Eastern Conference, the Atlantic Division, Boston Bruins lead with 81 points, Florida Panthers 80 points, Toronto Maple Leafs 74 points, Detroit Red Wings 70 points, Tampa Bay Lightning 69 points, Buffalo Sabres 58 points, Ottawa Senators 53 points, Montreal Canadiens 52 points. Metropolitan Division, the Rangers lead with 81 points, Carolina 74 points, Flyers 67 points. Penguins actually just beat them in an energetic game yesterday. Kind of crazy. New Jersey Devils, 62 points. Washington Capitals, 61 points. Penguins, 60 points. Islanders, 60 points. Blue Jackets, 48 points. Let's go to the West now. Central Division, Dallas, 78 points. Winnipeg, 77 points. Colorado, 75 points. Nashville, 66 points. St. Louis, 62 points. Minnesota Wild, 62 points. Arizona Coyotes, I was about to say Cardinals, I'm sorry. Coyotes, 51 points. Blackhawks of Chicago, 35 points. Pacific Division now, we're moving on. Vancouver Canucks, 82 points. Vegas Golden Knights, 71 points. Edmonton Oilers, 68 points. Los Angeles Kings, 68 points. Calgary Flames, 61 points. Seattle Kraken, 59 points. Anaheim Ducks, 43 points. And San Jose Sharks, 35 points. Looking at the wild card chase right now, the top three teams in the Atlantic get automatic spots. Those would be Boston, Florida, Toronto. Same for the Metro. That's New York, Carolina, and Philadelphia. Your top two wild cards, Detroit Red Wings, who are impressive with 70 points. Tampa Bay Lightning, 69 points. Devils trail them by 7 points. Capitals by 8. Penguins by 9. Islanders by 9. Buffalo by 11. Ottawa by 16. Montreal by 17 and 21 for Columbus. However, the Penguins trail the Flyers for a better spot. The third spot in the Metro by only 7 points. So it'll be interesting. Definitely doable. But with the trade deadline coming up, I don't expect them to make the playoffs, to be honest with you. Unfortunately. Western Conference now. The Central Division. Dallas Stars, 78 points. Winnipeg Jets, 77 points. Avalanche, 75 points. Vancouver Canucks, 82 points. They're leading. Vegas and Edmonton. Those are your top teams in the Central and the Pacific. Wildcard round, Los Angeles Kings, 68 points. They have the top wildcard. Predators, 66 points, second wildcard. Blues and Wild, they're both 4 points behind. Flames, 5 points behind. Kraken, 7 points behind. Coyotes, 15 points behind. 22 points behind are the Ducks. 31 points. Actually, add one to those. 31 points behind are the Sharks and the Blackhawks. So, wow. Kind of crazy. Alrighty, I went for the standings with y'all. So, let's get into today's topic for Mondays with Mason. I really briefly want to talk about this topic because, So, but this is a topic I definitely do want to talk about because it's a topic that needs discussed for sure. And that is the topic of college coaches leaving for the NFL. So on January 31st, former Boston College head coach Jeff Hafley left the Eagles to become the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Essentially taking a lesser job because he was the head coach at BC, and now he's going to be defensive coordinator of the Packers. So he essentially took a lesser job, a demotion, to go to the NFL. Hafley said the reasoning for this is because he wants to go to a league where he can coach football. In college football, as a head coach, you can't really coach football anymore because of NIL and the transfer portal. I always knew NIL was going to be disgusting. I think it's an awful thing. In fact, I think it's a borderline criminal thing. And I'm saying this as a college student. I think it's very dangerous that college athletes are being paid. Yes, it advances college sports, and I'm happy that college sports are being advanced, and I'm happy these athletes are having the chance to make some money. However, they're called college sports for a reason. And it's because the typical average college student, like myself, is paying money to go to school. just because you're an athlete, a lot of them get full rides, and they're kind of getting paid to go to school. And don't get me wrong, every college should try to build a top-notch athletics program. I mean, yes, of course you want the students to have something enjoyable. However, you should not risk losing players because of getting paid. It's almost like free agency at this point. Like, it's almost like college sports have become pro, as you could see with this realignment. And don't get me wrong, I love realignment more than I hate realignment. And I like it. I'm happy that the conferences are different now. And I'm happy the college sports have improved. However, it is a tough mess that people are going to need to work on to get out of. Pitt lost 2 assistant coaches, and I love them both. They were my 2 favorite assistants. Charlie Paffords left to be the Colts D-line coordinator. I really hope he does well because I like the guy a lot. Taquan Underwood, wide receivers coach, left to go to New England. They definitely need a wide receivers coach because their wide receivers room is garbage. So yeah, these were good moves for both of them. The Colts and the Patriots have struggling units in both these guys. I'm happy that these guys are going to get the chance to change that. However, it's a shame that college sports have gone down this road. Yes, NIL does have some really good things, like the fact that there's going to be college football video games again. I love that, and I cannot wait to play the college football video game when it comes out. I can't wait. I haven't even played any of my new video games yet from Christmas because I've been busy, but I hope to soon. It's on my to-do list. But anyway, though, we have got to take a deeper look at this. Because you're going to continue to see coaches go in droves. And another thing, too, I love it, but I hate it about college sports. The fact that you're seeing head coaches of other schools leave to become the head coach of this school. You will never see that, and you never have seen that in the NFL. Or you barely do. College sports needs reformed. There's no doubt about it. There needs to be a council put together of athletes, administrators, like presidents and all that, professors, athletic directors, coaches, and the president of the NCAA, Charlie Baker, to solve this issue once and for all. I don't think legislation right now is necessary. However, I do think the college sports should have the right to fix this on their own. And if college sports loses its identity and it gets so out of hand, then yes, we might need the government to act. But I would hate to see the government act because every time the government does something, it goes to garbage. So, that's all I have to say about that. I mean, it is a shame that you see all these coaches living in droves. However, and don't get me wrong, I think Jim Harbaugh, and you guys are all going to say about Jim Harbaugh leaving college for the NFL. Jim Harbaugh needs to be an NFL head coach. He is better than college football. He belongs in the NFL. We were lucky to have him in college football as long as we were. That man deserves an NFL head coaching job. There is no doubt in my right mind about it, and I'm very excited to see what he could do with the Chargers because he can truly be someone special. I mean, that guy is truly a special man, and I hope he brought Michigan a title, which I'll be very grateful. I'm very grateful for because since I'm a Michigan fan too. But that man deserves to be an NFL head coach, and I can't wait for him to lead Justin Herbert into Arrowhead and knock off the 2-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, or back-to-back champion. You gotta love Jim Harbaugh. Although I do like the Raiders and the Broncos in that division, more so the Raiders. They're actually one of my favorite teams. I do want to see Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert succeed because I like them both a lot. And Quinn Johnston as well. Hopefully he gets more targets under Greg Roman's offense. I don't know because they're going to run the ball a lot, so we'll see. But anyway, to the point, there needs to be changes in college athletics, and the college athletics needs to become a football league again. Because that's what the NFL is. Get college back to that. And if college is going to stay down this road, then each team should have, or each program, because halfway compare it to like the job of an NFL GM. Each program in a college athletic department should have somebody like a GM, more so like an NIL and transfer portal coordinator or czar for each sport. Like Pitt would have a football transfer portal and NIL czar. Pitt baseball would have a transfer portal and NIL czar. Or the whole college would have just one at that point. But I think that would be too much. I think it's an individual sport. So we'll see what route they go. How about they're talking about some states paying high school athletes? Like, come on now. You've got to be kidding me. We're talking about paying high school athletes. If you want to put in the comments what your opinion is on high school athletes getting paid for name, image, and likeness, go ahead, but I guarantee you everybody's going to say no. Because here's the deal. The fact that we're talking about it with high school shows that meaningful reform and action is going to go nowhere. So let's take high school for an example. These are kids that are not yet 18, and some of them don't even know what they want to do with their career. And they're there to learn, they're there to gain value, and they're there for academics. And to get a degree to go to college and hopefully live a better lifestyle. What good is it to have them filming TikToks to make $600,000 just because they could throw a football? So gone are the days of the quarterbacks being famous because they're dating the cheerleader. Here are the days where the quarterback is making $600,000 because they filmed a TikTok, and the reason they're making $600,000 because they can film a TikTok and other kids in high school aren't making $600,000 is because they can throw the football. The traditions of the past, and this is another thing, this is one thing I don't like about realignment. The traditions of the past have gone away. No more bedlam. You're lucky to get the Apple Cup and the Oregon State game for 2 more years. Pitt doesn't play Penn State anymore, and that was an old-fashioned traditional rivalry. Thank goodness for Ren Baker, that's the athletic director of West Virginia University in Morgantown, if you don't know, and Heather Lyke for wanting to continue the backyard brawl. Pitt should be playing WVU and Penn State every year. There is no doubt about it. And possibly throw in Cincinnati. What good is it that Pitt is playing Duke in football? We're not playing Cincinnati every year. We only play them one more year. It's this year. We're not playing Penn State every year. And we're lucky to even be playing Syracuse every year. I mean, come on now. West Virginia. What game if you're a West Virginia fan, or you're a student in West Virginia, or you're an alumni of WVU, which game do you look forward to WVU playing more? The backyard brawl or Baylor? And if you say Baylor, I will assume that you're not in your right mind. Because you're probably not, because Pitt and WVU is a really good rival. Sorry if I'm a little feisty on this. Yeah. But college football and high school football are meant to be about traditions. Yes, we need to get into the future more. However, we must still honor and respect the past. And that's important to remember. I mean, Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Florida State, those are interconference games. Play the last weekend of the year. Why can't Pitt and WVU play the last weekend of the year? Pitt and Penn State. Why? And if you're going to play Pitt and WVU, please play it the last weekend of the year. The Big Ten got it right. The Pac-12 got something wrong that the Big Ten got right. And that's putting Oregon and Washington, the biggest rivalry, one of the biggest rivalries, at the end of the year. Same with whatchamacallit. Ohio State, Michigan. Last game of the year. Biggest rivalry. Last game of the year. Can the Big 12 and ACC please sit down and decide, okay, we're going to put Pitt and WV at the end of the year? Because I don't think anybody would care. I think people would embrace it more than they hate it. And if you're going to put Penn in an ACC game at the last game of the year, put them against Syracuse, their biggest rival. Don't have them make the trek up to Boston College for the last week of the year. We have played an away game every single last weekend of the year since 2019. Is that fair? I don't think it is. And I get it. The WPIAL plays the Friday after Thanksgiving. We totally understand. But you know what? This year, the WPIAL, I don't think is because of how the calendar is set up. So this would have been the perfect year to put them at home. Instead, you're going to have them haul all the way up to Boston College just so we can play a Thursday night game at home against Syracuse. And don't get me wrong, I love Thursday night home games, and I was pick and play more of them. Just don't do it against Syracuse. Play on the last weekend of the year. There's a lot of issues right now with sports, especially college. And they better get their act together before it's too late. I hope the people, and I know these are little things, and in the big picture, they mean literally nothing. I get it. However, people are getting upset about it, and rivalries are being lost. But new rivalries are being born. Ohio State, USC, Michigan, Oregon, Penn State, Washington. This era of college football is going to be fun. It really is. However, it must work for everybody. And that's what they need to do. And that's what I hope. One last thing before we go is, I know I talk about this a lot on this show, but we have to seriously consider loving each other more and caring. Last week, a college student at the University of Athens in Georgia, near the University of Georgia, by the name of Laken Riley, was out on a run and she was killed. My thoughts and prayers go out to all her friends and family. And yet again, the situation is too big for us to stay silent. And I think we have to think about that. It is way too big for us to stay silent. Parents lost a daughter. Her professors lost a student. Her sorority sisters lost a sister. Her friends lost a friend. And the world, and the country, and the world, got that backwards, I'm sorry, lost someone who would have been a great future nurse. She ran cross country at her high school, which kind of reflects and relates because, as a lot of you know, I probably know by now, I ran cross country in my high school. So, bottom line is this. We deserve better. Laken's family deserves better. And Laken deserved better. We need a country that's safe for all and where all can be protected. And I know it's always been this way, but right now I don't feel like we have that. Do whatever it takes to call for change. And let's honor Laken by not just keeping her in our thoughts and prayers, but in remembering her and the amazing life that she lived. And carry out her legacy by making our community safer, happier, and healthier as she would have wanted. Enough is enough with the talk. We need to get to work, and we need to do something, because if not, nothing will change. Remember that each and every day. So rest in peace, Laken Riley. And I know she's looking down on all of us. That's all I have for this video. I hope you guys have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the off-season preview. That'll be an interesting one for sure. Worked on it last night. Hope it's great. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. Peace. See you around.